What's up, YouTube? Back with another one. This is Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all who has been showing me love and support, who's been subscribing to the channel, taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and leave the comments. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification button to stay up on the latest with Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Subscribe to and support my guy, Rebel Like Boxing, my homie Mark Nash Boxing, YSM Boxing, Hustlers Home Boxing, Nate's Boxing Nation, Expert Genius Boxing Channel, Isaiah Tilson, Bud Crawford Beats, Easy Route Spence, Thriller, and Musically Zone Always Talk Boxing. Please support those channels and subscribe to their channels too. You know what I mean? Like, and check out their content. Their content A100. That's why I rock with them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right. So, it appears that the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight negotiations is at a little standstill, you know, and because of that, and because negotiations aren't and haven't been made public, you got a lot of people speculating, clickbaiting, making up these different titles and stuff, putting it out there, you know what I'm saying? But Stephen Espinoza did an interview. And in so many words, Stephen Espinoza basically said that, you know, because a lot of people have been saying, you know, the fight is dead. You see different titles. The fight is dead. Terence Crawford pricing himself out. He overpriced himself in the fight. All different types of things that you're seeing. But, excuse me, Stephen Espinoza, you know, basically said that the fight negotiations are still on. The fight is not dead, and that he's actually confident that, you know, the fight will still that the fight will be made this year. This is why, you know what I mean, like, you know, when you got a fight of this magnitude, because this is an extremely and one of the most anticipated fights in boxing today, period, and probably in the history of the sport. When you go back and look at the most anticipated fights in the sport of boxing, this Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence is going to rank up there. And I did other videos, you know, where I told y'all that this is a fight that's hasn't been made but is already sold. And it's true, you know, but because, you know, nobody has, the fighters and the people who's working on the negotiations, nobody has been speaking publicly about it. So, you know, again, when you got a fight of this magnitude and none of the details of the negotiations are being made public, this causes people to speculate and to start making up stuff, you know, or they get misinformation. And then they start putting these, you know, different things out there about the fight and the negotiations. That's not true. You know, and I seen a lot of different titles with people talking about Terence Crawford overpricing himself. He priced himself out. He asking for this. He asking for that. How do we know these things if the details of the negotiations is not being made public and the fighters are not speaking about it? And I don't know if there is, I mean, it could be something in place where, you know, the fighters can't, you know, speak about it. You know, like, listen, we're going to keep this whole thing under wraps. We're not going, I mean, as far as we know, and I'm not saying that this is what it is. So please, I don't want nobody saying, oh, man, you wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as far as we know, the fight could already be made. But we don't know that. You know what I mean? The only thing we got to go off is if because I don't go off of the different titles and all that stuff that I see out there. I don't go. I got to do my own research. And if Steven Espinoza is, if he's giving interviews, he's not speaking, he's not going into detail about the negotiations, but he's saying, and this is true when you negotiate, in anything that's, that's on a high level. He said, when you negotiating things, sometimes, things progress smoothly, and then sometimes, you come to a halt, you hit a snag. And he said that even though at this point that the negotiations are slow going, but they're ongoing. And he also went further on to say that the fighters themselves are not ready to give up on this fight. Like, they're not saying it because from what Steven Espinoza said, that both Crawford and Spence are saying that, that this is the only fight that makes sense right now in the welterweight division. And it is. Because this is a fight that boxing needs. And either way, this fight has to happen. Now, Espinoza said that, he feels like that they'll be able to strike a deal and the fight will be made this year. Now, if they do strike a deal this year, now I already said this, I believe that both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are training now for this. It's just that once the negotiations are finalized and they've reached a deal, then they're going to ramp up training camp. And that's if, the fight is going to happen by the end of this year, by November or December. But other than that, if it, if the fight gets made closer to the end of the year, then it's possible that they can maybe fight early 2023. But I do know one thing, the clock is ticking for both of them. Because Bud is 34 and Spence is 33. 32 or 33 years old. You know what I mean? But, I don't know. Like, do y'all think the fight will get made before the year is out? Or do y'all think, everything will get done towards the end of the year and we'll see the fight early 2023? Or do y'all really feel like that this fight, that we're going to see them fight the end of this year? Or it could be January. You know what I mean? 2023. But nonetheless, the negotiations are still going on. And they are definitely being tight-lipped about the details of the negotiations. They definitely not going to talk about what the snags are or the holdups are. Because a lot of people, it seems like, once again, everybody want to come out attacking Terence Crawford and saying that he's the reason that the negotiations is being stalled. But the people who are working closely with this fight, I didn't hear any of them say that Terence Crawford was the reason that this fight was being held up. And I didn't hear them say that Errol Spence is the reason that this fight is being held up. So we don't know what the snag in the negotiations are. That's why you got to be careful not to just, click on everything that you see. Oh, Terence Crawford priced himself out. Or, Errol Spence did this or did that. But you don't really hear too many people saying things about the fight being held up because of Errol Spence. Every time you hear about there's supposedly a snag in the negotiations or the fight being held up, it's always on Terence Crawford and it's always his fault. Why? I don't know where they're getting this misinformation from. Some people make up things, some people doing research and maybe the research is false. And some people just want to report stuff. But listen, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to speculate on why I feel like the fight is, why the negotiations are, at a slow going, ongoing situation or you know or predicament that you know that the negotiations are in, I don't know who's to blame for it. And a lot of people, and I know some of y'all gonna be leaving some comments in the comment section talking about, nah, it's Bud, man. He want this, he want that. Listen, I was already clear about it being a 50-50 split. And, you know, I caught a lot of backlash with that. A lot of people, you know, like, man, what you mean 50-50 split? Ah, man, like, you know, Bud ain't do this, Bud ain't do that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. 3-division world champion, former undisputed champion, current WBO welterweight champion. But none of that stuff mean nothing. And I'm not knocking Errol Spence's accomplishment. I'm not knocking it. But all of his accomplishments are at 147. They're all at 147. He has no past accomplishments that led him up to where he is now. But Terence Crawford has that history. So if they both was to go into the Hall of Fame today and their careers were over, who would they have more to speak about? That's all. I mean, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, they both are champions. They both are undefeated. They both, you know what I mean, you know, have accomplished things in their career, you know, and they, you know, they both probably going to go on to accomplish more things in their career. But if this fight does not happen, that's going to be a hell of a slight towards boxing. A hell of a slight towards boxing. And I don't know how some of y'all feel about it, and y'all can, you know, don't forget, subscribe to the channel and like this video, share this video, and leave the comments. But let me know how do y'all feel like that this is a fight that boxing needs? Do y'all think that this is the only fight that makes sense in the welterweight division right now? Do y'all think this is one of the most anticipated fights in boxing right now? Because Triple G and Canelo is not. That's not an anticipated fight. You're not going to get nothing shy of what you saw in the first 2 times they fought. This fight here has fireworks surrounding everything. Everything. And I feel like this is the most, you know, most anticipated fight in boxing. And once this fight get made and those tickets go on sale, watch what's going to happen. And the pay-per-view numbers is going to be crazy. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. And then once this fight get made and those tickets go on sale, and then it's actually fight day or fight night, and those pay-per-view numbers going up, everything that they both did in the past is not going to matter come that night. It's not going to matter come that night. But a lot of people still using that now. Spence sold more, he did this. It don't matter that Bud made more money than Spence. Spence sell more, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, and all that. We can go on and on all day long. I mean, all day long about, you know, what Spence accomplished or didn't accomplish, how he did this more than Bud, you know, because nobody seems to want to give Terence Crawford his credit for his accomplishments. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I had people, you know, every time you say something about Terence Crawford, here come all these Errol Spence people. Listen, I respect both the fighters. I give them both their credit. See, that's the thing, and I keep telling y'all that. I respect both of them. But you can't overlook the accomplishments of one because you favor another. And that be the problem with people. Now, for people like us, you know what I mean, that, you know, that do the research and try to report this stuff, we got to try to keep things as balanced as, you know, as much as we can. But some of y'all make it seem like we favor Bud, you know what I'm saying, over Spence because y'all trying to downplay what Bud accomplished over what Errol Spence has accomplished now. Bud was already a unified champion, undisputed champion. Spence is just now becoming a unified champion. So he's trying to accomplish what Terence already accomplished. Don't matter that it was at a smaller weight. It don't matter. He still accomplished it. And the fact that he's undefeated. And I don't, I know Terence Crawford is, some of y'all gonna say, man, he trying to protect his blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Listen. If y'all don't think Errol Spence was trying to protect his he could have fought Crawford before he fought Ugas. So why fight Ugas before you fight Crawford? It was an easier route. Easier route. Everybody knew Errol Spence was going to beat Ugas. I said that. I said he was going to walk him down and stop him late in the fight, and that's exactly what he did. Some of y'all saying he going to walk Crawford down. He going to stop him. I don't see that happening. It's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight. But I guess we won't know until the fight is finalized. Okay? And guess what? The details of the negotiations are never going to be made public. We just going to get the word. We're going to wake up one day and see fight is done. And we're going to know that it's done because you're probably going to hear Floyd talking about it, or you probably going to hear, Stephen Espinoza and all. You're going to hear these people. You're going to hear from the horse's mouth, not from people speculating and, clickbaiting and all that type. You're not going to get that. We're going to hear from the horse's mouth. And like I said, Stephen Espinoza, he said that, the fight is not dead in the water. The fight is not off. The negotiations just came to a slow halt. That's it. Slow going, but ongoing. But the fight is not off. And he said that the fighters still want this fight. 100% these fighters want this fight. And Stephen Espinoza is 100% confident that the fight will, be able to get made this year. So slow progress is better than no progress. But y'all drop the comments in the comment section below and let me know what y'all think. Will the fight get made this year? And if it gets made this year, will it get made in enough time for them to be able to fight at the end of the year? Or are we going to see this fight early 2023? I'm going to let y'all flip the coin on that one and drop the comments in the comment section below. That's all I got for now. Until next time. Peace.